Changing careers after 30 might sound intimidating. Like, it might sound crazy to some people. But I did it. So I want to share with you how I did it in case you might be thinking of doing the same thing. The first thing I want to say is it's not too late. It's never too late. In a lot of ways today, the way that careers work, there are non-traditional ways to do a lot of things. And I took one of those non-traditional paths to change my career. So just a few seconds of the backstory. I was in customer service, so in a call center, in a cubicle, answering phones, getting yelled at, telling people to turn their routers off and turn them back on again. And I was burnt out. Like, I couldn't take another person cussing me out for something that I didn't have any control over, that I couldn't do anything about. And so I decided that I wasn't going to do it anymore. And I also just wanted a better life overall. So those were my motivations. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to feel proud of myself. I wanted to just have a better quality of life. I wanted to not hate what I was doing every day. And so one day at work, I used to work on Sundays. I used to work the second shift, and I used to work on Sundays. And, obviously, most places are closed on Sundays. So a lot of times people didn't even realize we were open. So we would be really slow. And so I did a Google search, and I looked up careers for introverts without a degree. So at the time, I was in school. I was in community college at 30. I had already got an associate's degree from a different community college in social science, and I was getting another one in business administration, neither of which you can do much with at an associate's degree level. And I was down on myself because this was not my ultimate goal. My goal was to get my bachelor's degree, get my master's degree, get a doctorate, become a professor, and all these things beyond what I was actually doing. And so what happened when I did this Google search is that I came across web development. And this was at a time when learning to code was growing. But I didn't think that I really could do anything technical like that. But I found some tools that allowed me to learn to code for free or for very inexpensively, and just online, asynchronously. I didn't have to change my major. I didn't have to, go to a boot camp. I didn't have to do any of those things. I found a bunch of tools online that I could use to learn these skills. So I did that, and then I started freelancing so that I could get some experience, because I said, hey, I got to break into this industry somehow. It's in my mind, it was unlikely that anyone was going to hire me because I didn't have a degree, and I didn't have any experience in this particular field, so I had to go and get some. So I figured, and these were my thoughts. This is not necessarily truth. It's not necessarily Bible. This is just what I thought at the time. So, but it worked out because I went and I freelanced, and through freelancing, I learned more skills. I learned more about myself. I learned what I liked and I didn't like. So there was this one gig where someone hired me to code some landing page templates so that the company could just plug and play, go and put in their content, upload it. But they'd already have the base there. But along with those landing page templates, which is basically just a one-page website, along with those landing page templates, they wanted email templates. Now, I had heard about email coding, and I kind of knew that I had the basic skills that it would take. So I said, okay, I'll take it. So I took the gig. And what I realized doing that gig was, now I didn't get paid. She ghosted me, scammed me right out of my little templates. That's another story for another time. However, what I learned was I loved coding emails way more than websites. Websites can be huge. You got 5, 10, 20-page websites. They could take weeks, months to complete. all this back and forth with, QAing and proofing and all that stuff and making sure the details are correct and changing designs. But with email templates, it's such a small like format that you're in, and coding email is different from web development. That's neither here nor there because you're probably not here for that. But anyways, I realized that I really enjoyed coding emails. I really enjoyed something else other than what I originally started. It was very much related, but a little bit different. So I went down this path of becoming an email developer. I made a profile. I mean, not a profile, a portfolio. I built a portfolio for myself, and I found 2 jobs in my area that were hiring for an email developer. I applied. I got both of them. So yay me, right? So now this was a 10%. Initially, this first job was a 10% income increase. I didn't have things that were important to me at the time. I didn't have a dress code. I worked in a beautiful office that was like one of the more modern tech company offices. It was for an agency, but it looked like a tech company. And so I was doing something that I was so proud of, and the fact that I learned these skills on my own, and I set out to do something, and I did it. I accomplished it. I was so proud of that. And, I was doing something that I felt was challenging and that really, really interested me. And so that was that. The pandemic hit. I lost that job, but I got a better one. This one doubled my income. So it had been less than a year from when I changed careers, and already my income was doubled. Now, I worked at this job for a while. I got a new job that was better at a dream company, doing along the same lines of the same thing. So this one career change now took me down this whole career path of all these. I didn't even know that there were all these different routes to go in a career in email. Like, who knew that? But I stumbled across it and I took advantage of it. And now with this new job, with this dream company, not only did I get a discount at this company, but I also tripled my income from prior to this career change. So it had been 2 years, a little less, around 2 years or so since I changed careers, and I tripled my income. Like, I didn't even think that was going to happen, much less happen that quickly. And so now, along with that came a whole lot of growing pains and learning that I'm still working through. But again, that's another story for another video. Anyways, the point of this is changing careers, leaving something that makes you miserable, that you can't stand, where you could barely support yourself, you're not making much money. It's possible. It's possible. And I did it at 30. I know other people who did it older, younger. I meet people all the time of varying ages in the tech space, and or people who just have a story that they have changed careers and changed their life, and at all stages of life. So it's never too late. Honestly, it's never too early. Because even if I was 18, 19 years old and I realized this was what I wanted to do, I didn't need a 4-year degree. Now, I'm not knocking college. I think it serves its purpose. And honestly, one of my biggest regrets is not finishing college. But my point is, if you want to do something, if you want to get into a certain career, just do it. Just go for it. Just put one foot in front of the other and go for it. It's going to take some time. That wasn't the only thing I was focusing on during that time. Life was life, and I was going through things. There were some major things happened that impacted my life and decisions and I made wild ass decisions during that time. But this career path thing, this is one thing that I'm so glad that I did. It's so proud of myself, and I'm still reaping the benefits for today. And I've experienced some of the hardships that a lot of us have experienced with a lot of layoffs in the past couple of years and things like that. but I still wouldn't change it. I still would not change it for the world. Like, I'm still so grateful for that experience that I went through, that I'm going through, the whatever fire got up under my ass that said, hey, you can do this and now is the time and you gotta do it. Otherwise, your life is wasting away. I'm glad I did it. And I'm just saying, if I could do it, you can do it too. Come up with a plan. And I really didn't even have a plan. But anytime someone asks me now, I would say come up with a plan, because it's easier for you to see yourself achieving that goal if you have an actual plan. I didn't have a plan. I was just figuring it out as I went along, and I still somehow got to it. But yeah, it's possible. One foot in front of the other. Look at other people who have done something similar. Look at other people who are in the career that you want to be in. And for some things, you might need to go back to school. For some things, you can find a school program and find the books that they're studying and study those on your own. Go to the library, get them for free. Rent them. And do that work on your own. You might not have to shell out thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to change your career. I think that is a traditional mindset that we've fallen into. Nothing wrong with it. It's an option. It's an option. I'm not saying it's something wrong with it, but it's not necessary for everything. So that's it. Thank you for listening. If you've had a similar experience, tell me about it in the comments. If you have questions about my experience that you want me to answer, tell me about it in the comments. If you are in the process of changing your career at whatever age, let us know so we can root you on. Thank you so much for watching.